Hey Jamari, okay, so let's go over this um, index project. Okay, so here is the data set that I put together so far. So I got up to, let's see here, Human Rights Committee. Um, so basically what you want to do is, you'll see there's two columns here. Um, you want to um, place an X by entries that are individuals. You'll notice that there's like organizations and or events. Those are things that we don't want, at least for this stage of the process. And for this organization, the African National Congress, which is a pretty big a pretty big deal, and we'll have a lot of references. In the ordinary index, there would be an indent, and it would include all of these other things related to the ANC underneath it. So just be sure to not get tricked, because sometimes there are names included underneath. We don't want that, because whoever Malele is, or Elman, or Mdluli, they'll appear somewhere else in the index. So make sure you don't click an X next to those, because it relates to an organization. It's not that individual's entry. That will appear somewhere else. Um, and there's another good one. Um, so here's a trial. And here's another trial. And then if you looked at the index, there would be an indent, so it would be clear to you that all of these things that fall under the Suttner trial are related to the Suttner trial. But if you just look at this, and this is Mbala or Mbula, it looks like this is an entry, but it's really not. It's really not the entry. It's just related to her role in this trial. So kind of ignore that stuff. So I'll provide you with this. Should give you a head start. I've done a bunch of this so far. The main thing to keep an eye out for are line breaks. That's a big problem. So when you copy and paste this stuff, um, the line breaks will appear as a new row, and we don't want that. So for this person, uh, Weitzman, Hamilton Weitzman, what you want to do is go through here and fix that. So what you want to do is you want to copy, or cut rather, this line and then paste it there. Now, this is interesting because there was a 4 and then a slash right before this line break. So then what you want to do is go back, look up Hamilton. Let's see here. Hamilton Weitzman. Okay, so in this instance, the page got cut off, so the scan wasn't so good, and we missed that. So what I would do is just put a question mark for that. Whoops. And then put a comma. And then just make sure that the spacing is correct. So the convention that they're using is comma, space, and then the number of the issue, which in this case is 3, and then the pages 4 to 5. In these instances where the reference spans pages, just leave it the way it is. That should be fine. Okay, so now that you've kind of fixed that row, you can delete this cell, or rather, you can delete this row, this empty row, and you're good to go. So what I do is I bounce back and forth between between the index. So I'll usually have the index open. Let's see here, like I'll have it open side by side. Go over here. Sorry, my computer's running slow today. And then I'll have this open over here. And then I'll zoom in and try to find the page that I'm on. And then just kind of spot check. You can go pretty quickly because these are pretty good, but here is an error. So the OCR, excuse me, entered a space where there's no space, and if you look at WAPA here, there's no space. I don't know why it did that. It just does that from time to time. So yeah, I would fix things like that. So far, this looks pretty good. And then for those folks where you know it's just an individual being referenced and not an individual related to an organization or an event, you can put an X next to them. So that X just indicates that it's a person, and that it's that person's entry. Here's an interesting one. Okay. So Excel will format combinations of numbers as dates, depending on what the format of the column is set to. So here, what happened was a pair of numbers. So, in this case, it would be 1015, was formatted as October 15th. So if you go up to Gowalla here, you can see, 1015, it's a line break. So what Excel thought was, 10/15 is the date, so I'm going to format it like that using a alphanumeric convention. So what you want to do is just delete that out, and you can type it in or copy and paste it, and it'll work the same way. And then delete that that row. So this one looks pretty good so far. All right, here's an interesting thing. So here is an extra space that will throw off the scripts that we're writing to extract this data later if there's an extra space. So keep a close eye out for that. Here's another extra space here. Here's another one right here. Okay, so here, homelands is a topic. We don't want that because it's not an individual. Human Rights Committee is an organization. Industrial Aid, Institute of Race Relations, detention figures, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's basically how you clean it up. Now, how do you get the information in there? It's basically drag and drop, or not drag and drop, sorry. It's, you basically highlight and then copy and paste what's in there. So what I do is I zoom out so I can see the whole page. And then I'll start up here with this cursor, and you'll notice like the areas that are highlighted don't necessarily line up to the script that you see, because basically the way that OCR works is it saves the machine readable text as a layer beneath the visible layer that your eyes use to read the characters. That visible layer is just an image file. The machine readable text is hiding behind it. So when you select and copy and paste, that's what you're picking up. So once you have that selected, you would copy it, and then actually I think I screwed this up. Hold on, let's see what happens. Oh no, it did it. Okay, sorry, I was just testing that out. And then you can paste it here. Now you'll notice you're getting a bunch of junk here. Um, Most likely what that's doing is it's coming from this header up here. So zoom in and just see it's there. So that focus numbers 1 through 10, that's a header, so you can get rid of that. I'm not sure where this other stuff is coming from, but you'll be able to figure out if you deleted something by accident um, as you make another pass on this. Oh, whoops. Let me move this over, actually. Okay. Just to make room for that X column. Okay. So this is a continuation from the previous page. South African Institute of Race Relations. So this is about the members and officials band. International Red Cross, we don't need that. So now we're picking up with Salih Ismail, Salih. So what I'll do is I'll set up things the way I had them before. And then zoom in on Salih Ismail. Let's see here. Okay, so there's Salih Ismail. Okay, so here's a great example of a problem. So Johnny Issel, who I've met before, his name is, the character, the OCR got it wrong. It put a J instead of a capital I. That's a common mistake. And then you've got a space in there that you got to clean up. See how well we did with the rest of it. It's looking good. If you want, you can add the X for the people as you go through. That might make sense. Just as you're proofreading. Jolly. So we're up to Jobo. Jamba. James. Okay, so for James, let's see here. Wilmot Godfrey. For whatever reason, OCR dropped a 1 in there. That will cause problems. You want to make sure you catch that and get rid of it. Jinta. Jobo. Okay, so correct that. It looks like the spacing stuff is going to be the most common problem you're going to deal with. It's usually pretty easy to catch. It just happens quite a bit. Okay, so for here, just because I know African names fairly well, I could just look at that and look at the combination of vowels and consonants and know that that's not typical in African names. That one jumped out at me. If you're less familiar with African names, you're probably not going to be able to spot check it as easily. So you're just going to want to kind of keep a closer eye on this. So the OCR misspelled this person's name. And the reason why is, I don't know if you can see this on the video, but there's basically a very slight line, a little glitch that made its way into the scan, and that threw off the OCR. So it's actually TWALIM Fene. So, there's going to be little misspellings like that. So for these instances where it's saying Minister of Justice C, another entry, don't click that off as a person, because basically that's just telling you go see the entry for Kruger J. You'll come across Kruger J later, and then you'll mark that as a person. This is just basically a placeholder. Kadali, Kwesi, detained. Okay. Kanvula, Matthews, Connie, Kareem, Keegan, Anna. Oh, see, Kakana's got a space right there. Kente, multiple spaces here. Kepadisa. And then this Kagame. Okay, so you can't really see this too well, but there's a little glitch here. And that rendered as a 1. So OCR picked that up as a 1. Also in this person's name, I guess his name is Abef. I thought it was Abel, and it just messed it up. And it looks like that's actually the guy's name. So that's pretty much it. Those are the things you want to keep an eye out for. I'm around, so just text me if you need help, and then we'll go from there.